Hey, Wiggles. Do we have sound and stuff? Sound, music, mic? Hello, hello. I'm still trying to get my, I'm lying. Happy Christmas Eve, everybody. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy any holiday that you may or may not celebrate. And if you don't celebrate anything, well, happy today. Let's get the music down. And let's get I'm going to set up my Epoch cam really quick. We're going to get started. We've already got a couple submissions. Yeah, it's the flippin' holidays. It's the holidays, festivals for the rest of us. No, I'm just kidding. Ho ho ho, mother. I need a tripod. Tripod. Okay. Eva, I need somebody to hold this for me. We've got some stuff to talk about today. As of now, Lex is the only person that is in the queue. So load up your tunas. Today, I'm taking anything, guys. Today, I don't care about whips, whatever. I'm not gonna hound you down for it. Just hop on. just hop on, share your music. Today is a celebration. We're gonna listen to your music. With all that being said, if I don't have any feedback for you, if it's done, we'll listen to your tune. I'll give you some. Wait, what the fuck? I'll give you some of my thoughts, and it won't be anything super crazy. Yes, I will allow you access. Yes, I'm also going to allow you access to that. Okay, yes, you can have access to my microphone too. All right. Let's see if we can get this up and running. Hello. All right, let's get the tripod up. I think this is working, I want to say. How are you guys? What's going on? How is everybody? I'm going to go to my grandma's here in a bit, but I wanted to make sure and hop on stream. If you are wondering how I'm doing, I'm going to tell you while I wait to see how you guys are doing. I lost my job a couple days ago, but I am going to be compiling a new plan for work and life and things. Training has been good. My body has been kind to me, or maybe I've been kind to my body. I don't know however you want to cut that cookie, but things are good on that end. So hopefully they can continue training. I also just realized that I need to fold my blanket. The doggos are good. Let's see. Grandma's good. Everything is good, other than the fact that I'm not working anymore. Oh yeah. Boom. It's the ugliest fold I've ever done. Commence the jiggling. What did I do for work? A lot. Well, what I was recently doing was I was a social media manager for a dispensary. Long story short, they wanted me to get it off the ground from like absolutely nothing, starting from zero. They gave me 2 months. They weren't happy with the results, so they let me go, which I get. But at the same time, you have to realize that like building a social media platform takes time, and you really don't see anything until it starts to snowball, right? So hold on, let me switch this over to the hello view. There we go. It's a nice little fade. Ah, there I am. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. So we've got a good show today. I don't know how long I'm going to be streaming for. I'm waiting on a phone call from my grandmother, actually, to see when dinner is. I'm going to have one of my favorite dishes from her. Chicken spagooter. I broke my fucking mug. That makes me really sad. At least it still holds coffee. Sad mug. So, yeah, guys, today we're going to be doing 3 giveaways, but I've got 4 going on. First things first. Can I move? Sorry, I have like a bunch of like gifts for my family over here. You want a sub pack? I got you a sub pack. Here's the rules for that one. Hey now. Once we get to 10K, I'm just going to pick a lucky winner. And if you're in the U.S., I will pay for shipping. If you're outside of the U.S., we will split shipping. because that'll be astronomically expensive. So if somebody complains about me not paying for shipping or whatever, like, give me a break, okay? Because shipping is really expensive overseas. But I will do it. I think that's kind of where I'm at on that one. The other 3 giveaways we're actually going to be doing today. So I am going to be giving away 3 sample packs of your choice. So whatever you want off of my store. The way that this goes is I think that once we get all of the submissions down, so this will be towards the end. It won't be anything crazy, but once we get all the submissions in towards the end of the stream, I'm just going to pull a raffle up and I'm going to pick 3 people that submitted into the stream feedback. So to kind of counteract this and to kind of try to make things a little bit more fair, I'm not going to be spending 30 minutes on your feedback like I usually do. Not that I'm not willing to, but I do want to make sure that you guys get in and are able to submit. Surprise! Happy holidays. It's nothing big, but at the same time, I am always constantly looking for ways to just give back to the community, to tell you guys thank you. A lot of people, like, I have to say, guys, like, once I told people that I lost my job, immediately after, like, some people purchased some of my stuff, and I want to tell you guys, like, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. That's very, very thoughtful and meaningful, and yeah, That's hashtag speed roasting. So, but yeah, guys, I do appreciate it. I know that there's a lot of reciprocity here, and I want to make sure that you guys are known that I want to make sure that it's known that I value you all as my community. You're my community now. No, I'm just kidding. But wait, there's a giveaway. Sorry, I'm trying to fix a smart TV with a blow board. What the hell is a blow board? Is that like what you do cocaine on or something suggestive? Oh, I was like, what the fuck? So yeah, we'll be doing a giveaway. Hey, can you guys do me a favor, mods? If you guys stick around, will you guys just type in and let them know that when people come in that there's a giveaway, so I don't have to tell everybody 20 times over. Excuse me. Like fried. Gotcha. I understand now. It's just the nature of how that went was very suggestive, to be short, to be fair. So, yeah, let's take a quick look. Oh, there's my grandma. All right, hold on one sec, guys. Let me talk to her really quick so we can get over this. And we're back. Giveaways after the feedback. Giveaway. Don't I like beatbox the same song every time? I just change the lyrics or whatever. So yeah, let's take a quick look at what it is that we have to. We're going to be offering on this alckemy.com. Okay, look, epoch notifications. So yeah, for all of you guys, whoever our lucky winner is going to be, I need to figure out how to enter you all into a raffle, but we've got Abjuration, which is for Bitwig, Ascension, which are my glitch generators for Phase Plan, Aberrance, which is my base pack, Ether, which is my halftime pack, Ash, that's my soundscape pack, that's free, Arbitration is like my heavy percussion tools. This one's a sleeper, man, because there's some really cool shit in this. I need to upload like a bunch of samples and all that. Azoth, which is just a hodgepodge of stuff. Aberrant Mech is free. My base dictionary is free. Advespert is free. And I'm not calling sound. If you guys haven't been to my website yet, there's a bunch of free shit. So take it. It's for you. This is the coolest one by far. That's not true. There's some other cool ones, but I definitely do think that that's the one you want. So yeah, let's go ahead and start and get into our feedback. Like I said, guys, I'm taking anything today. If you have finished tunes, I'm taking it. If you have unfinished tunes, I'm taking it. If you have something that you're working on, I'm taking it. So let's get some feedback in here. With loads of ideas for basses and melodic elements, put them together this quick arrangement over some drums. Cool. So yeah, you guys ready? I'd like maybe like one more submission before we get started. How are you guys? What's going on? How's everyone's life? I don't want to say anything personal from the people that I talk to outside of the chat, but how are you guys doing? I'll submit something I wasn't going to. I'm cleaning my room, listening to you. Are you going to start the music or what? My room's already clean. We will. Soon. I promise. Soon. So, good. Just kind of here. I'll talk to you on Discord, but I talk to you on Discord, but you always seem so busy. Not gonna lie. Not really. I usually get back to people. I'm usually pretty prompt if you tag me and stuff, but hold on one second. Let me let my dogs out. There's a difference between occupied and busy. I do keep myself pretty occupied, but as far as busy goes, like it's pretty flexible. But yeah. What was I going to say? I was going to tell you something else. Shit, I forgot. All right, let's get to the first tune. This is Lux Ruptor or Ruptor, Raptor. And we will get down on the first tune. Sex Raptor? You totally got to change your name.
So I'm gonna tell Kevin to like pay for my shit. I mean, it was $60, motherfucker. That's what I'm gonna do.
1 second, guys.
You know?
Yeah.
But it was free because I had insurance.
Right.
So, but I took the antibodies also.
You don't have those?
What do you mean?
Or when you get your results?
Oh, tonight.
Sometime tonight.
Couple hours.
Yeah, Grandma said that like even if you take the test today, like if you were to get it, you wouldn't be a carrier for at least a couple days.
So if I like had it,
yeah, you'd be okay.
Contagious?
Yeah,
right.
You'd be okay.
Still wouldn't want to go there, though.
Well, me neither, but yeah.
Right. Well, I'm gonna feed them real quick and hit the old dusty trail.
If you get the chance, you should call those other places. For the homes.
The homes?
Yeah.
I'll take a break in a little bit.
All right.
We have like 6 people up there. It's like, is that necessary?
Right. I'm gonna leave the door cracked because the thing's really loud. But if you need something, just come in. So, hi. Yeah. So both my brother and I had to take a COVID test. Well, he took his today, and I took mine yesterday because my grandmother just beat cancer, and we were being really careful about visiting her. So yeah, let's talk about this tune though. Squid Dance. So I think that main synth, the wubber synth, that's kind of like rubbery, the rubber wubber, I think it's a little bit too prominent in this in particular. I'm actually working on an EP called Pixel Puncher. It's going to be Funk Grinder, Squid Dance, etc. Noise. So in some cases, like, I think the sound works, but it's a little bit too overpowering compared to the rest of the stuff. Like, there's this kind of like dissonant introduction when you're trying to introduce this ambience, and then like the squid thing, we'll just call it your squid bass, is so much louder than that. It kind of like took away from the intro of trying to like find a way to introduce that, if that makes sense. So I think that you can take a little bit, I know that this is a work in progress, but you can take a little bit more time on your intro. And let me listen to this part again. Yeah, so I actually would just introduce the pad and the noise first, and then once that kind of like subsides in, yeah, I'm going to talk about the drums here in a second. But once you talk about, or like once the pad kind of subs in, you can do some kind of impact or whatever, and then start to introduce that mainline synth, and that I think would be a good segue into getting you into your main section. And then once you break it, yeah, okay. So once you break it into this one, I would actually restart it, kind of like almost like redoing the intro again, or like stopping the music and then changing that main synth of, because like you have this really cool B section, but it's not introduced in a way that's like, you don't really build a lot of tension with it. And I think like that's a big thing that you can work on within this particular project in general. So the other big thing that I have for this is that your kicks and your snares could use a clipper because they're a little bit sharp on your transients. Like the melody that you have in this, in my opinion, I feel like that wants to rock out, right? But the drums are so overpowering that you don't really, like, it's hard to capture that groove unless if you're listening super closely. So I would recommend clipping the drums a little bit and then filling out how you can bring that melody up a bit, because I feel like that's the actual main driver of this rhythm. Where like you do have the wom, and I do think that's cool. But there's a lot of things that could be kind of like tightened up to kind of work together. It's almost like if you've got a gear that's turning, but you're getting like this much as opposed to everything being locked in. I guess that's like a really bad way to explain it, but it's kind of what I think about, if that makes sense. But other than that, I think this is really cool. I was listening while I was talking to Rain. We've kind of had a talk about this from before, but and again, like I know that this is an early stage of your production, but really like bring out the contrast within these hits and stuff that you have. Right? So the boom, bum, 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 as opposed to just letting it play, see what spaces you can take out and take out the overlapping instruments to help give this really like kind of segments and boom, 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 boom. And once you kind of like figure out how to like bring out a rhythm in that way, it's going to make this groove so much stronger, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's what I got for that one, dude. Good stuff. I'm going to let this play out because I want to finish my coffee. I like the chords and melody, feel good vibes. Yeah. Sorry, I do have one more thing to say over this. So like you might even want to consider when that main bass comes in of using that doom boom 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 in a different section compared to when the main bass is going. Because I feel like if you did that, you would accomplish what you're trying to do with how loud that bass is anyways. So you can actually make that bigger and make that more powerful of like bump to pop to bump, and then once you kind of break off of that, then you can go into the melodic side of things where you put a low pass filter on that bass and you kind of let that melody play in. So that way it's a little bit more playful in nature and it feels like it's actually a bunch of different parts, right? Or if you do want to have the music and the bass together, then they need to have a happy medium. Yeah? Does that make sense? Like a lot of times within my music, whenever I'm making stuff, I favor the bass and the percussion and the drums. So there's usually not a lot of room for melody, unless if it's in the background with ambience. So like just kind of being mindful. I said there is no bigger. Honestly, it's a ton of parts. Yeah, but I'm trying to explain how that you can like flesh out, how you can flesh out making the most out of what it is that you have that you're sending to me, if that makes sense, right? Because to me, like the idea with this is I don't feel like you're in the position of, hey, Optic, happy holidays. Yeah, you're good. I was just letting you know. Yeah, for sure. I'm just trying to like help you become aware of like how to make your tunes bigger and make them as powerful and as maintain as much energy as I think that you're going for. Or if you're going for something different, that's totally fine too. But just from what I've heard from all of your stuff, that's kind of what I would look for if I were to try to be like, all right, well, how do I make this bigger? How do I make this more? How do I make this hit harder? I guess, but that's my own bias. But you know that. That's why, you know what I mean? Like everybody knows that's my bias here within feedback. Well, if you're here, this is the first time that you're here, I make really heavy music, so there's that. But yeah, man, nice tune. Like even with this part right here, like even with that part, like you could even change up the melody right there, you know, where it goes into something of like a single chord or like a single note or a drone or something. And that would make that dun 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 a lot bigger. There's a song that comes into mind. Well, a lot of songs in video games come into mind, but one reference tune, it's not the same vibe, but the way that the parts change, I think, is a good place to start. It's Mystic Mansion from Sonic Heroes. It's got a lot of different parts in it, but yeah, I really like that tune because it's really interesting how they change it so much between those parts. It almost seems like it's a snippet of like 4 or 5 different songs melodically, and then it kind of like has a theme that kind of ties together. You literally hit my favorite tune on the head, for real. We're all gamers here. So, but yeah, so listen to that tune, you know. Dum ba dum bum ba dum ba dum bum 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 bum. Yeah, but just listen to how different those parts are, and I think that'll all make sense to you. Good stuff. Thanks for submitting. Hey XO. Oh, you literally hit my favorite tune on the head. All right, Circuit Hour, you're next. Oh, by the way, for those of you guys who are submitting, I would appreciate if you tell me if the song is done or finished or whatever. Like, I can usually tell, but if there's something specific that you want me to look at, that's helpful for me to help you kind of like, that's helpful for me to know what, like how to be helpful to you. So. I agree. That was really cool. You would send it in. Read the description. That was really cool. Okay, so for the introduction here, when you get into introducing this, one thing that I think would really help this out. Sorry, my brother's got a grow fan in the back that's like promoting circulation and shit, and it's super loud. Is having some kind of sound right here to kind of like boom, boom, boom. Right, so like that's a great way to help you start to build tension within that. Super cool, dude. Basses are really nice. Yeah, I do like most of the sounds that are in here. Yeah, so like one thing that you can do right here is kind of like what I was talking about is once you introduce that reverse sound, you can kind of let the other stuff in the background kind of die out and let the bass kind of, here's your melodic stuff, here's your bass. They can kind of switch over and then mellow out at the top. Wait, and mellow out in the beginning. Yeah, because like once you get there, because you can kind of hear that they're going to play together, but one of them has a high pass filter and one of them has a low pass filter, and then they can kind of meet in the middle. And then that would be a great segue into getting into your drum stuff right here. So one thing that I think would be really cool within this though, is that you have this hat that's going along within your separated parts. I think if you break that for the first part of your main section, if it's just like boom, 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 hat, boom, boom, and then once you kind of play that out, then to pick up energy, then you can play the hat all the way through. because like even like you can tell like even in this instance right here where you fill that in, right? That's a great place, and that's kind of like something that you can use throughout the beginning of that section. And I think that having that kind of start-go relationship between this would fit very well between the first, like the A section of this tune. So I also really like this lead. Hakubo, for you, the world. Now, so for this particular lead in general, I think that it does fit very well. Although I do think that it could use another layer, like maybe on the top end or something. And then I would also like to hear maybe a little bit of vibrato introduced in certain parts of the melody. So instead of like, you know, and like pitch bends and stuff, I think would make this really like stand out in that way. Oh, it's there a little bit. Sorry. It was there a little bit. So on those parts that you have right there, like within those emphasis, like you can add another layer right there, like you can harmonize those parts. Make that part really wide, and then you can kind of keep going, because what it's going to do is it's going to create this relationship within your lead. And I think that you kind of are already playing with those kinds of ideas, and this is really cool because like I think that you're definitely on the right track with that, because I can hear like the delays that you're going back and forth in between. But maybe what I would try is just a little bit of reverb, add another layer for the main thing, and then instead add those delays, maybe a pitch delay on those specific instances, and I think that will make your lead sound a lot bigger. And so like within all this stuff too, like I really like how you did this relationship of like this stop go thing, but I also feel like you're being a little bit reserved with it. You can insert a lot of other fill stuff within this that you can easily like find stuff by resampling your entire tune, stretching it out, finding some granular chops or whatever. And it doesn't have to be like super distorted or whatever, but just like maybe some glitch moments right there, as opposed to just the hat breaks. And the reason why is because the hat breaks that you have and the drums that you have are kind of taking a back seat right now. So they don't have as much impact as you're wanting them to within that. I think that they fit within the most of the context of the track, but you're trying to make this really big moment with these stop-go things. And the problem, not the problem, but the thing that I notice about this is that it doesn't have as much impact for that kind of like musical break. Like I would want those moments to be the biggest part of this little section right here. But again, that's just my opinion. If you want it to be subtle, then I think that it's actually working quite well. Okay, and then like just for me, like because I'm me, one thing that I think would be really sick is like once you have that cool little like reverse like tape stop thing. It's not quite a tape stop because it doesn't have a lot of whippiness to it, but that like stop and then reverse thing, it would be really cool if like at the end of this turnaround, if you went banana boom boom boom, that would be so cool. Okay, and then right here, whenever you start to introduce this sound or whatever, you need to have like one that sticks out a little bit more, because right now this just kind of picks up, and I feel like you're getting ready to use this to take you into the rest of the track. And I do like it, and I think that it fits, but the way that it's introduced, I think it could use some drama. That's my idea for your next part. Sorry, I'm only going to beatbox it once, but that's what I have for that. Yeah, but I mean that's kind of what you already set up, right? That's, to me, like that's where the track wants to go. So there's your advice. Hi Chase, welcome. Yeah, good stuff. I really enjoyed this tune. It was super fun, super duper fun. Hello, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but welcome to the channel. Sorry If you tell me how to pronounce your name, I'll give it a shot. But I'm sorry, I can't read Russian. Super duper helpful advice as always. But of course, thank you. I appreciate it. Good stuff, man. All right, next up we got Eden. Then we got Now. Then we got Twatwayne. Then we got Elias. Then we've got bagops.exe. Then we've got Gyong. I'm Maxim. Hi, Maxim. Thank you for telling me how to spell your name. Hold on one second. Yo, Rain, are you still here? Hold on one second, guys. Yo. Hello. Hey, thanks for waiting, everybody. Oh, look at my hair today. Look at that. I'm just kidding. Yeah, so who's next? I think we have Eden is next. Okay, so they say, I have this big project at the moment with loads of ideas for basses and melodic elements put together, this quick arrangement over some drums. It's unfinished, obviously. It needs something melodic. In the breakdown, maybe guitar or something. Any arrangement ideas would be awesome. Mostly interested in your thoughts about the mix, though, trying to improve. Okay, let's take a listen. It's very quiet. Oh man, total blue balls. You had to end it like that? E minor, maybe G minor? All right, let's try E minor. I can't remember. I'll figure it out. Actually, I'm sure Greedo will call it out in just a hot second. I'd wager it's G minor. Yeah, pretty sure it's G minor. Right, it is F sharp. My bad. He's right. Oh God, man. Okay, so yeah, I think. Oh yeah, you're right. Just open the project. Yeah, I think that some elaboration and stuff would be really good. The vibe is definitely there. And I apologize. If I hear something I like, then I'm very inclined to want to play to it for a bit, just because it's fun to jam over that. This is how I collab without collabing. I just play to your stuff. Lol. So, all right. The big thing that I want to focus on right here, though, is actually like your bass cuts and stuff. And I think that they're mixed pretty well. Circuit Hour said that he wishes everything was just a little bit brighter, and I'm inclined to agree. I think that you can definitely use a little bit of high end on your stuff. Although, like, I will say, like, most of the mix is clean. I think that I can just use like an exciter or something. So one thing that I want to talk about, though, is maybe bringing a little bit of focus into your bass cuts, because while I do think that they're cool and all that, I'm kind of like leaning against doing like just a bunch of bass cuts for the sake of like, you know, making a sound design jam and then placing them all together. I almost think that if you had something that had a more clear call and response, and then you inserted that variation bass or something there, that it would find a little bit more direction to the track, especially because everything else is super melodic in that way. So not super melodic, but very harmonic, right? Right? Too many pitch bends. So yeah, stuff like that. There's too much. You're when you have all that variation in here, like you lose the focus of the track. So like you want to establish some kind of key or some kind of consistency within that. And then as you continue to go on in the track, then you can use that to break off a little bit. And you can think about like call and response, like on a sense of like 2 bars, 4 bars, 8 bars, and 16 bars, right? So, but what you want to do is try to pick out a theme, something that's common within these bass cuts. So like a boom, the boom, the boom, the boom, the boom, the boom, the boom, something like that, right? Something with a little bit more consistency. And like I said, I think if you do that, this is going to totally change the entire vibe of this track. And I do think that the basses and stuff work. It's just you have too many random cuts. That piece of advice that I just gave you, if I would have had that piece of advice 5 years ago, oh my God. Well, I'd probably get stuck on something else. But that piece of advice right there has been like one of the pinnacle turning points of like what helped me figure out how to start to contextualize my music, right? And there used to be a time where people would do that, like especially in glitch hop, where you would have some kind of like other melodic theme, and then like the glitch cuts or whatever would just be kind of like all over the place or whatever. But when you have these really long cuts that kind of go all over the place, even though you have drums and stuff that are playing, it loses the focus of the track. And that's kind of just what I can't like hammer that in enough, to be honest. And you know, if you like it and you're happy with the cuts, then keep them. But that would be the biggest piece of advice that I have on that front end. Once you hit to this part, I'd actually cut everything and I would go for a more melodic approach, maybe like do some kind of whoosh or something, and then just elaborate and have some fun playing with some musical pieces and musical parts, because it seems like you have this really good relationship between these bass things and all that stuff. Yeah, there's no need to keep that shaker. You can kind of just maybe have like an eighth hi-hat of just like that's an idea. Yeah, like you could, yeah, like that would work. That's definitely viable. Listen to something from Cohen Sound. That's the best advice that I can give. They have a solid melody with their bass for the most part, and then they have some kind of like fill bass in between that kind of helps keep it interesting. It's almost like, okay, think of it like this. You're a bass player, right? This isn't a bass, but let's pretend it is. So here's your bass line. Right? Okay, it's kind of cool, but whenever you start to... Sorry. You kind of add in those like cool little like licks and stuff, and Cohen Sound is so well known for doing that stuff. You still want to treat that in the same way as you would playing a bass line, right? So as opposed to just like F to win or just like crazy randomness, you really want to try to focus in on what it is that you're doing. So instead of like boom, 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 it can be like boom, 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 boom. You see what I mean? And like that totally changes the entire vibe of like how you write bass lines and stuff. Even if it is just F, right? If it is just F, it's just F to win. You still want to focus on creating a rhythm with it, because if you just drone it out, it gets really boring. Like imagine if you had a 5-minute tune that's just F and it's just holding F. Boom, boom, boom. It gets really boring pretty quick. So in order to keep this interest, because you have all this movement and stuff in there, I think that like you definitely have the right idea, but you need to focus on like bringing those things out more that have a little bit more clear direction of a line. Unless if you're doing IDM. If you're doing IDM, well, even when I do IDM, I still have a theme between something. It's usually like the same call and then a different response, and then maybe I'll like variate the question a bit. Sorry, rhythm holding F. Yeah, but even still, like in rhythm, they still change the rhythm of it. In rhythm, they change the rhythm. Fuck. Even if it's just bow, wow, wow, bow, wow, right? It's still like bow, boom, psh, boom, 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 psh, dum, boom, dum, boom, boom, psh, dum, boom, dum, boom, boom, psh, dum, woo, boom, boom, psh, dum, boom, boom. It's still a rhythm that they play within that. And then they usually take time to add some kind of fill for variation, even though it is a little bit repetitive in that nature. So when you're doing stuff like that, that's something that I would consider. But I think this is going to be the biggest piece of advice that'll help out, because once you get here, you can kind of, like I said, just kind of dwindle the drums out a bit and just have some fun playing. I would take out the shaker because you're kind of changing the vibe of this right here. And what I would like to do, what I would like you to do with this tune is to, or go 1 semitone up here and there, right? Fuck, what was I talking about? Yeah, let the music kind of like, or let the drums kind of mellow out for a hot sec. Elaborate on some of the music stuff, and then start to build tension again before you kind of start combining these elements again into this other stuff. And maybe what I would do is like add in one other musical driver as in an instrument or something to kind of help take you through this. Or if you're going to do that, you still want, or if you're not going to do that, you still want to kind of mellow this out, bring back tension, and then reintroduce the same groove and like replace that as in like it's going away for a second, and then boom, here it is again, and here's the same kind of piece, if that makes sense. Hey Blair, nice grain delay thingy on the background. It's sick. Yeah, like I said, I definitely think that the vibe is definitely there. Or down, whatever. Just hit another note every now and then it's noise. But if it's just nothing but pitch bends and stuff, then it doesn't really have a direction on it. Yeah, this part is really nice. I do want to hear what this is like when it's louder though. For you guys, I actually turned it up. For me, that doesn't do that. I have 2 separate control things. So I'm going to pull this back a little bit now. Yeah, dude, nice tune. Nice tune. Very vibey. tis vibey. That was Eden, right? I think. So next up we've got Now, then we've got Twan, then we've got Elias, then we've got Bag Ops, then we've got Gyong Gyong Gyong, and then we've got Elias. Yeah, I think. All right, didn't have anything ready. This is just infant stages, a collection of some idea. These are all the feedback, super helpful. Yeah, for sure. So okay, so instead of having the chord progression, I didn't mean to leave that last section. It's okay. So instead of having the chord progression, I actually think that this melody that you have in the background should be your theme of the tune. The dum dum na na. And this tune reminds me a lot of Seven Lions. And the reason why is because of the melody-bass relationship that you have between the two. It's not that you sound like Seven Lions, but the arrangement is very similar to that. So I think that if you had like just a really big ambience wash right here, like, and then you had a really fast arp, like, and then you go just a drone bass of like, and then you play that melody, bum 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 bum. And then you just drop this part right here. I think that would be a really fucking sick intro. But I do think that I don't really feel like, I guess for me, if I always have a choice between dark and kind of like happy, playful, I always go the dark route. And I think that if you did that with that kind of intro, I don't know if you hear what I'm hearing or not, and that's totally fine too. But if you did that, it would totally change like the vibe of this tune from being kind of like playful and not be too serious to like edgelord type. And you know me, Alckemy, king of edgelord. Let's pretend like that didn't happen. So I do think that changing that up a bit would help give this a theme, but I think that this melody that you have on that is really strong. The boom, 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 boom. And then for the rest of the part here, like I don't really to be honest, I don't really have a whole lot because like you did a really good job of like laying out the skeleton of this. And now all the stuff that I have is just like, how big is the backlog of tracks? Check the Discord. Yeah, you already know that like all this stuff that you have is just filling the spaces, right? Yeah, there's so much play for like filling up spaces and like more ear candy stuff. And then just like adding, you know, like reverse samples and stuff to make it go like yo. Man, I don't know how to pronounce that name, so I'm just gonna call you Yao for now. But thank you so much for subscribing. If you tell me how to say your name, I'll try, but I don't want to be offensive. But thank you, I appreciate it. Well, dum bum 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 well, dum bum 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 boom 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 dum dum dum. Yeah, there's a lot. This tune has a lot of potential. So boom, 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 boom. Yeah, I don't know. There's a ton of shit that you can do with this. So. Cheers, guys. Just join in. Welcome, Roll. Yeah, but like once you go into the chord progression, it just kind of like takes away so much of the coolness that you have right here. And it could just be because it's empty and like you might have ideas for filling this out with other instrumentation and stuff. But man, I feel like this right here, there's so much room for play to change this into something that, yeah, I don't know. I like it. Long story short, that's pretty much all I got for this though. Like you did a really good job. I actually really admire how well you put this together with leaving the room for the spaces to fill in the cool shit and kind of just writing that out. So good job on the arrangement on that end. Twat Wayne or Twat Wane. Good stuff. Yeah, that part is definitely more empty. I would definitely elaborate more. Yeah, and I know, but I don't know, man. I think like the biggest thing is I'm just not, the chord progression just seems too happy for me. If you guys have ever been in Wolk's channel, No Happy Music, I have the same sentiment, but I don't tell people that. I'm like in my mind, I'm like, no happy music, but whatever. It's cool. I'll listen to it. Yes, found the audio file. I actually did this like 4 months ago. I was using Ableton Live Lite at that time, and I don't really know if I should call this a finished track, but yeah. I started making music not long ago, so the mixing is really bad. Crying face. Okay. So no happiness allowed. All right, so we've got Twat. We've got Elias, we've got Bagrops, we've got Gyong. We've got Elias, and then we've got Raul. If you run out, don't worry, I won't run out. I won't run out. Not if my feedback is 15 minutes at a time. What the fuck is that? Come in. Taking off. You going at 4 today? Oh, they did get busy. I'm gonna pause this for a sec, guys.
Help Leanne do some devil days after we get off, and then go say what's up to Dusty's kids, and then probably come back here.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna grab a card for Rachel.
Okay.
And then we can sign that.
Yeah, I get a $600 bonus today too, so I'll shoot you that money for the food and whatever.
I'm not worried about it.
I know, but
yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. I think maybe I'll also get probably Kristen and Rachel like a gift card or something too, just because they're really hard to shop for. I wanted to get Betsy get some shoes from Betsy, but she never called me back. So, but you know, I do want to get them something.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
right, man. Take care. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, the music was kind of quiet, so I couldn't talk and listen at the same time. So let's start this over. It's still pretty quiet. Eva. It is a nice pad. In a world full of no-names, cats have evolved into something more. I probably should give this tune a lot more respect than I am. I'm sorry. Yeah, I agree with Raul. More drums. Bring up bring up the filter a bit, or add some kind of like noise or something over this. But the feel is fantastic. Also turn it up. It does, but it's too quiet still. And you can still like replace with other elements to kind of help bring that out. Hold on. Hey! 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 No! Buckshot, get in here. Stop that. Come on, in. Come on, you too. In. Come on. Jeez. The cover art is saying the opposite of what the track is saying, though. Well, I think it's just a placeholder. Sorry. Dogs. Doggos. They're just like... Whoa. Yeah, so I would definitely turn this up. You can add a clipper to the drums to give them a little bit more thump, and that will also help with your crest factor here. I would add maybe just like some kind of ambience or some kind of noise or whatever. Sampled my dog's barking yet? Yeah, have you guys not seen that dumb video that I put on YouTube?
Can't believe that Daniel deal you got me on.
Sorry, we're gonna do it. It's Christmas. I'm gonna play a tune of mine. This is my best single release yet. He's deaf. Anyway, yeah. So, yeah, he's deaf. So he talks like a deaf dog. So yeah, within this, sorry, tangent, turn up the drums a bit, and I would add maybe just like vinyl noise would be great, or maybe some kind of like washing pad of an ocean or something. Texture, not pad. But man, the vibe of this track is just really, really freaking nice. And then of course, like just some elaboration on this. Let me figure out what key this is in. That's it. Yeah, I figured. I'm getting better at detecting key. Yeah, I mean, anything like that, you know, and it doesn't have to be a guitar. It can be a piano or just, you know, just a couple notes here and there, or a motif or something would really make this like that. But I think that this was meant to be more of like, I don't know, I'm kind of old, but do you guys remember Adult Swim bumps? Like it was just like short, really short tunes, but like Flying Lotus pretty much, right? Just meant to be a bump and just like, it's just a vibe. It's pretty much what lo-fi became. Although the bumps had a lot more variety of like what those actual tunes were, but as a bump, I think that this is totally fine, but maybe just a little bit more elaboration on this would be really nice. And then like grab yourself a limiter, turn it up, and consider opening the drums a little bit more. Add yourself a clipper so that way this becomes a little bit more compressed. Well, not compressed, but it kind of flattens out a little bit. And yeah, I really like this, man. as soon as like the drums started coming in and I started being able to actually hear what was going on, I was really into it. So good stuff. Hey Alckemy, I made this short drop today. It isn't something serious. I was just trying out some sound design stuff. Okay.
Let the battle begin.
Hey, Gascon.
Begin.
Damn, dude.
You lose.
Okay, honestly, the only thing that this needs is a thicker sub and some reverb on a couple of instruments, and then maybe some white noise. It doesn't need to be over the whole thing, but maybe in certain parts, or maybe if you added a white noise splash, if you didn't want it to be like outright rhythm. Because this is kind of like riding between like being a super unique like bass tune on its own right, and then also kind of riding along the lines of having like dubstep vibes. So whatever direction you want to take would be up to you. But I do think that having something that introduces some space would be really helpful for this track. And then also like the sub, of course. And it doesn't have to be like a sub. It could just be like pitch bends, like a or like impact basses or something, or it could be like a mixture between both. But yeah, this tune is freaking cool. Man, when I heard this was great. But you still want to have stuff like other fill sounds as well. Maybe something like reverse snares or whatever to kind of like bring the groove back in of like. Yeah, I don't know. Like this is probably something that I would hear in my own head. Like, not that I could create something like this by all means, but when I'm like imagining stuff, like this is definitely there. I think that like having some kind of high pitched synth as well, like or a higher pitched. Stop. No licky bath. A higher pitched sound could also be good as well, of something that has a little bit of relationship to kind of bring you up there, right? Because the focus is all in the middle right now, and the middle sounds great, but it's missing lows, and I also feel like it's missing highs. So like within these like like you can add in a bass right there, just like
Fight.
And then like the vocals are dry as well, right? Fight, like that should be like super chorused, harmonized, fight. But like the main character, or like the main feel of this tune is great. Your snare clap is your drums are mixed really well.
Begin.
Okay, and then once you get into this part right here, where it's like the I would take away a lot of the other elements. Yeah, I want to hear this finish too. I would take away a lot of the other elements and really just focus on bringing that out, because it's not like you did change it, but it's not contrasting enough for this to feel like it has as much impact as it could. So like what I would do is have like some kind of, again, reverse riser or something like that. Have some kind of riser or something of like, and then make this sound bigger, because that would be like your B section of that particular tune. I don't mean Alck. Everyone knows. Everybody except for Alckemy is really good at this. That's pretty funny. Yeah, but I would add another layer to that. And then, like, honestly, I actually, if you add in a sub under that, then that might actually take care of that. But I do think that making that a little bit thicker. Do you have any ideas for the transition at the end? Like at the end?
You lose.
For this part, you lose. Or this part, or this switch up. Okay, so you lose. Introduce a melody. Introduce another sound. Introduce some kind of video game sounds, as this kind of alludes to, right? Something along that nature of like use ambience or abuse ambience to transition into something else, because this is kind of the right time for that in the track, if that makes sense. And this can actually help you bring in a main idea, a reverby sine pluck. You could do a switch up, but I would want to introduce a new idea as well, as maybe instead of coming back to this, you can go into something melodic, or you can introduce like a pad right here. But I think for me, like for the vibe of what this track goes, what's the name of it? Oh, it's got no name. If this had a name, that would be helpful. But okay, let's just pretend like it's called Elias Code, right? So, and you've got the term code here, and then you've also got a video game announcer talking. So maybe what's happening is you go, you lose, and then you insert a cheat or something, and you implement some kind of Foley or some kind of reverse moisturizer. You introduce some kind of cheat code sounding thing, maybe like Foley of controller sounds or something, and you pretend like the game is booting back up. And then that could actually allude to kind of Raul's thing of making it go faster, right? Or something like that. And then like you do like a super version of it, or you insert a code and then you have like a little like a jingle of like samples Street Fighter 2 hitting the button when you hit a character select, right? And then you can introduce like another cool idea. Maybe actually things go in slow motion, right? So like think about like a cheat. To me, when I get this idea, I think about maybe a cheat that I would want to introduce, and I would use that cheat and implement it to maybe the sound that you have something like this. So like slow-mo mode, or maybe like fast mode, or maybe you can't die. So maybe you just like insert like Ryu taking a hit, like, Hadouken, or some shit like that. Yeah, there's a lot of different ideas that you can play with right here. So I think like the melodic idea would be good. I also think that like inserting a cheat code right there or something would be good that you can apply to this part as well. Maybe you're getting points, or, it depends on what kind of... It depends on what you want to do with this story and what you picture. But what I would think about as far as like a general idea, because I have to keep it general, is to think about what's happening right here and think about where it wants to go. So don't even think about like, I need to insert a part, or I need to insert a melody, or I need to insert this. Look at this like as an entire thing and be like, what the fuck is happening? What's whips in the description? Work in progresses, plural, or cars. If you want to submit a car, that's cool too. I'm just kidding. I have a pretty nice car. But the grammar correction. But yeah, that's kind of what I would consider with that, is really just try to focus on, or think about like what's happening in the story and think about where you want to go with the story. But yeah, man, this is super cool. I really enjoyed listening to that. All right, next up, we've got Bag Ops. Hey, man, I just joined the server. I thought I'd share it and see what you think. It's just a sketch and only a minute and made it while watching Raised by the Wolves. Christmas, mother. I think this has a lot of potential. I actually really like the strings in the background. All right, so that heavily well fluttered sound could use some reverb. Okay, so what I would do is to arrange this, I would introduce the right, and I would introduce the strings, and then after after 4 bars or 8 bars or whatever, I would let the harmony of the strings and the arpeggio, I always want to say arpeggiator, but I would let those two reverb out, and then do a really big riser, so where like you have this cloud of sound that's kind of coming out, and then you have this riser that's coming back in, and then I would play that bass part, the on its own. So and then after that, I'd probably maybe let that play for like 4 bars or so, and then I would just introduce the pads or the strings in the background of like the no. I can't sing, but I think that you know what I mean. But yeah, I think that the arpeggio that you have is kind of like, because it never stops, it makes it hard to listen to all the other ideas that you have through the rest of the tune. And it's not to say that you can't do that, but let them take turns, right? When you're introducing a new thing, if this is like constantly talking and someone else is trying to speak, sometimes it's like, at that point, people are just yelling, right? So if you're going to have a relationship between these sounds, like maybe let this kind of fall back a little bit, and you can still keep that maybe with like a filter or something. I think that it should cut out. But if you're keen on keeping that, then you can kind of, you know what I mean, just let it come to the background a bit while you let the other ideas kind of execute, and then bring it back in and let them all try to play together. But that's really like the key with this kind of stuff, is you really want to develop no licky bass. You're just like so adamant about licky bass, man. But yeah, like having a relationship is the biggest piece with this kind of stuff, because you've got all the right things together, but how do they move together? Are they in a dance together? You know, are they competing against each other? What is your sounds are characters in a story, and what is the relationship that you want them to have? Do you want them to have a conversation? Do you want them to argue? Do you want them to be in battle? Do you want them to, experience an emotion in their own right? Do you want them to have loss, or there's all these different happenings that you can personify these sounds with. And the more that you kind of allude to those kinds of things, I think the better composer you become, or the better arranger that you become. But that's just how I think about music. That's not how you have to think about music. That's totally like a philosophical approach. But those are some kind of things that I would think about in general. This would be epic if it just went to the next drum level. Those main bleeps can really go wild towards the end there, in my honest opinion. Maybe double the amount of bars for that part before the beat drops, maybe. Yeah, exactly. Like it could use a longer intro and then a little bit of ambience before it comes back in. So yeah, that's kind of what I have for this tune. I think that the vibe is there, but I do think that there needs to be a little bit more of a deeper relationship between the stuff that you have. And once you kind of do that, then this tune will be a lot easier to finish, in my opinion. Yeah, that's kind of all I got for that one. But I liked it though. I think it's cool. It's got good stuff. All right. Hi, not finished. A lot of work to do, but something decent, I hope. I agree. Is your bass out of key with your chord? Hi, Bobby. I agree with that. Hey, you see that? Very crim bass. Very bass miss. I do too, Gavin. I think that there is a lot to like about this. Okay. Okay, so first of all, this was really cool. I think that in a lot of ways, you changing nothing about this tune, depending on the context, can work. Especially if you have a visual guide about what's happening, then then yeah, I don't think that you would actually need to change much, other than your bass on the first chord is different. The bass on the bass and then the chord that you play right here it doesn't work yet. And I think that like you go into dissonance as the tune progresses, but it doesn't work initially, if that makes sense. So maybe having just like a single tone and then starting to add tension chord in that way would be more helpful. But it didn't make me want to change the tune by any means. I was just kind of like, that doesn't really... And if you did that on purpose, then okay, yeah, I respect it. I think the biggest thing for me personally that I would recommend, main chord is F and the bass is on the G. Yeah, but I do kind of feel like there might be an aspect to where this person did that on purpose, and that maybe that's the vibe that they were going for that, But for me, like initially, it didn't work, and I'm not telling you to change it. I'm just saying that it didn't quite work for me in that way. So if this is in the context of just a listening experience, if you're going to create something that's meditative, because I think that's kind of what the vibe here was going, right? Is it's a slow burn. You can still add other elements within here to help keep interest. And you don't have to actually change anything that you did right here. You can just add motions. And motions are just ambience in the background or different pieces of like swooshes or something thematic in the back that helps kind of allude to being in a dreamy state or being in a place of uncertainty or something like that. But when the thing kind of like is just the same exact through the entire thing, as the track progressed, it started to sound less intentional. I'm not sure. It's, you know what I mean? It's been brought up, so as long as they're aware of it. But having some kind of ambience or something like that in the background, it doesn't have to be like super ambient or whatever, but just little motions, little things, little delays here and there and stuff can really do a lot to kind of like a quote unquote meditative track in this way. If you're wanting this to be a little bit more interesting throughout, then I think that this tune could be maybe 2/3 the length, but there's a lot of parts here to where like you have these things go for like 16 bars and you don't really like switch anything up. You have these like little instances of glitch and nuance and stuff, and I do see that and I do appreciate that, but it's not enough for the average listener to recognize those kinds of things and to be like, oh, that was a cool little thing you did right there. And I think that's just because when you start to get into the meditative realm, you stop listening to detail, or you stop like trying to point those things out within your ears, or at least that's what happens for me, right? So then I'm like, okay, the main thing that I start to pay attention to is just the boom, 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 the boom, boom, boom. And Seaback could send the Discord on Tune Feedback 999. So yeah, like having a little bit more nuance, a little bit more obvious detail if you want the tune to kind of progress and stuff in that way. I think that it could move a little bit quicker. But again, like I don't want to tell you to change something depending on what your vision for this tune is. So instead, I'm just kind of like taking it as a point of like, here are your options, or here are some options that I think about. They're the only options that you can take. You could do absolutely nothing with this tune if you wanted to. But yeah, for me personally, I would like this to move at just a little bit of a faster pace. And I actually really wanted to hear like some dedicated like trip hop drums over this, maybe in just like one part or so. Like once it gets to like right here, maybe, or even here. Boom, 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 and then the pads come in. Like that would be really nice, and that would be a great like easy switch up between that, and then you can take those away and then go into something that's a little bit darker, right? And I think that like drawing inspiration from like Silent Hill or something would be great, of having this kind of play in this relationship of being in a really dark world, and then going into something that kind of pushes the person to progress and then pushes the person back into this kind of like abyss, if that makes sense. So yeah, man, I do really enjoy it. Dude, he's got 7 followers, or they have 7 followers. Let's just call it the cat, okay? G on the cat. Let's give them some love, because there's a lot of potential with them. Sorry, let me sign into Facebook. Fucking Facebook. Facebook's dumb. Facebook. Okay, yeah, go give them a follow. Show them some love. But yeah, cool tune. Really cool tune. Record them beatbox samples and use it. Yeah, I don't know. Credit me though. Don't be a dick. Okay. That was really cool. I'm sorry I don't really have a whole lot more for that, but it's really close to being done. And look how well this is mixed. That's some good stuff. So nice job on that. It was easy to listen to. I just wanted a little bit more to be going on. High not finished, a lot of work to do, but something decent. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Yeah, so all the stuff that we said, that kind of applies, but I guess it's more of a compliment because we said that could almost be done, you know? So good stuff on that. All right, we've got Roll, we've got Zas, we've got Mihu, we've got Emmanuel Pafundo 94. Then we have Gasco. By the way, mods, you got to help me out here. We've got a giveaway going on. Actually, we have like 4 giveaways going on. 3 giveaways are today. I'm giving 3 lucky submitters, people, yeah, whatever, one of my packs off of alckemy.com today for the holidays. And then when we get to 10K, I am giving away this. Behold the sub pack. It is an M2X, so it is an older version. The new version isn't even out yet, but you can't get one of these right now until like March. So you want a free one? Hey kid, come over here. I got some candy for you. I've got some. You like music, right? Have you ever heard of a sub pack? All you got to do is subscribe. Get me to 10K. I'll make a video. You like the video. You say something about the video about why you want a sub pack, and then I'll pick a lucky winner. Oh, cool. Thank you so much. I appreciate this a lot. I have to be honest, my SoundCloud account is a bunch of nothing at the moment, but I'm uploading tracks on these days. Thanks a lot for the advice. So useful. We'll give you a follow. Yeah, please give Pierre a follow. Because that was cool. I did enjoy that a lot. Yeet. Yeet. That's actually what I do for front flips. Yeet. A little bit higher though. Where are we? Raul's next. Couldn't decide which one to send, but here's something I put together last week. Okay, cool. Give it to me. Come on. Right here. Come on. Do it. And feel free to join the server. Join the server. It is the way. A little sharp. A little sharp. Today has been, dude, today's submissions have been amazing. I've heard some really good shit today. Big ups, guys. Send it to me. I'll check it out later. I'm not even bothered by sub in the sides. That was really cool. Okay, so one thing I would consider is I love distortion, you love distortion, we love distortion together. However, I'd say control your distortion. That's the best way that I could describe that, is you want to control your distortion, because right now it's almost broken in some places. Like the sound is literally breaking apart. And if you want it to do that, that's fine. But I do feel like there's a little bit of fidelity missing that I want to hear within this tune. If that makes sense, right? Like I'm all for like just blasting something to hell and crushing it and stuff, but there is a way to control it in such a way that it doesn't just sound like there's a time and place for it, but I don't think that's what you want to do right here. So within that, yeah, okay, that makes a lot more sense. So like maybe just back off of the camel fat just a little bit, or run it in mid-quarter sound design. Bro, what? I'll laugh my ass off. That's actually cool. Wiggles, I like it though. I do too, but maybe run it in parallel and like just back off of it just a little bit so you still get a little bit of clean signal in. Okay. As far as arrangement goes, I think that there are some other things in there that were kind of sharp that I had to turn that down. I also have really sensitive hearing. I also have really bad tinnitus right now, and I don't know why, but my ears are just like and that could be it. I don't know if I'm experiencing hearing loss or if it's allergies or whatever. So if somebody thinks that the mix is fine, that's why I don't really do a lot of mixing feedback in general. You guys feel free to sound off, but I do think that there were some elements in there that did come off as kind of sharp. With that being said, sound is slightly sharp. Okay, cool. It is what it is, like take it for what you will. Soft clipping, that's your friend. Soft clipping. And EQ, of course, and compression and all that other shit. But too much highs? No, it's not that you have too much highs. In fact, I think that in a lot of cases you could actually use more high-end content, but some of your instruments that you have, in my opinion, kind of have like this sharpness to it. So like peaks in specific frequencies are, too many resonances, too such harsh. I think that's more of what it is. But I do actually think that this tune in some cases can use a little bit of high end, especially in the background with some of that stuff. So once you get to like the kick part of where it's just like boom, but the 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 boom, that was really cool. But I do think that it should go somewhere a little bit sooner. And the reason why is because I actually feel like your tune is a good length. I mean, unless if you want to add a longer outro, but you can make that stuff. Yeah, dude, it's horrible right now. It's just like, drives me fucking crazy. But yeah, I gotta remember to ignore it. But yeah, I think like having the kick thing go into something else a little bit sooner would be good, because right now it starts off really strong, but the fact that like you don't have as much interesting content as the first part means that the energy of the tune dies out a lot. So what you can do is you can kind of let that kick pattern go and then use that as your outro if you're kind of getting things to kind of wind down. I would add an outro, but my sidechain stops working after 320 for some reason. That's weird. Did you not copy your Go sidechain? Or I don't know. That would be an odd question to add. I don't know. I mean, once I used duck. You use duck? What? Okay, it's fine. So for your outro, just have one kick, right? Goose. Just have one kick and then go into ambience, or like go back into the abstract stuff that you have. Volume, automation, triggered by clips. Lol. Yeah, just kind of have that, and then it doesn't need to be anything elaborate, but I would like just totally break this. Like, so once you go into the consistent kick pattern of like boom, 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 have like a reverse sample and then just totally break this like worse than this. Just like boom 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 boom, and then reintroduce this idea again, and then go boom 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 boom, and then ambience, and you're good. Yeah, all that boom 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 doom stuff. So yeah, that's kind of what I would focus on. And then like once you have that, I think that would be a great way to finish the tune. This is some good feedback. Will this vid be saved? It will not, and I'll tell you why. So if you want to go back and record the DVR right now, then you can. But every time I keep an uploaded video, I get flagged for copyright because people release their tunes. And I don't really want to deal with that. So it's not worth it. You kind of got to be here, you know? You, sir, have to be here because I'm not going to save the video. Because you people keep releasing your tunes, which is great. Congratulations on your releases. But it copyrights me. So that's why I don't save feedback videos. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do. My hands are tied. I'm out of options. Eva, somebody needs to tell Colonel to stop flagging people for copyright issues. Ah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, it's not you. It's you, Tube. Drebin. I'm glad somebody caught that. Thank you, Gavin. Thank you. Okay, cool tune, man. Really good stuff. We've got Zas, and then we've got Mihu, and then we've got Gasco, and then we've got Loshka, and then we've got Oof, and then we've got not sure why, but every time I try to upload this god dang SoundCloud, the sound changes a lot. It's because of compression from SoundCloud. And the bass gets so much duller, and the mix doesn't cut through like the WAV file does on my computer. Oh well, just a heavy drop I started working on, and let me know any thoughts, or even though it sounds pretty rough. I'm Zas, by the way. I'm not really great at this Google nickname stuff. Yeah, it's fine. Thank you. I appreciate that for telling me who you are. Okay. Foresight. The clock on the wall reads 1:15 midnight. Maybe tell him to send the wave too. I know I do. You can, I don't know. Let's take a listen. Let's take a listen. Oh my gosh, I feel like I haven't been following people. Hold on one second. Let me make sure I'm following everybody. I know I'm following Lex. Okay. I tried sending the wave, but it said it was too big for Discord. I know, I'm sorry. I don't have a Nitro thing or whatever. And I cannot pay for it. Because the file is too big. Yeah. We'll talk about it. Yeah, this was really cool. Chase, I don't know if you heard me over the music or not, but I just released a Vital tutorial on how to make Reese sounds like that. You're very hard to hear. I know, I realize. That's why I said I'm pretty sure that you didn't hear me over the music. But yeah, I just put out a tutorial on how to make monster Reese things for Vital. It's free, so you have no excuse of why you can't make it in whatever DAW you're in. Okay, so with this tune, obviously, like, there's some mixed stuff that I would consider, but I think that, like, I wouldn't be so quick to give the musical aspects of this away. And there's a couple reasons why. Yeah, mainly those high-end swoosh sounds. Really? Just take white noise and add a filter. Add a little bit of resonance, a little bit of reverb. You're good to go. All right. So yeah, I wouldn't give away the music the whole time, because that's the difference between you listening to the same melody for 3 minutes and 50 seconds versus listening to the melody over the course of 4 minutes, but for like a minute and a half, right? So my suggestion would be, when you kind of get to this part, I would just go with the same beat. I'm just kind of trying to beatbox this. And then once you get halfway in, then I would reintroduce the melody, because that would be a good setup for you to get back into your bridge. There's also some elaboration that you can do within that. And I think like that will automatically make this track a lot more interesting, because that way I'm not listening to the na, da, da, which I do think works. I think that it sounds good. It's just, it's unnecessary, especially like when you go into the very first part right here. It doesn't, like, you don't need to have that backed up. In fact, I would much rather listen to like how strong your bass is, versus trying to make sure that it plays melodically along with that. So with this part right here, I would just like go full on bass out and not have that melody. Like, if you want to delay it out in the way that you kind of did right here, of just like dun 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 dun, like let that wash out for a bit, and then really bring up some of this stuff. And what you're going to notice is that it will actually give you space to have places for other things. And that's not saying that you have to do that, but you can have a much thicker bass of like, and that will actually make that part a lot stronger, if that makes sense. Okay, and then something else that I would consider too is, like, with your bass stabs, whenever you're playing the low note, I would maybe consider breaking those into 2 separate layers and have one go whoa, and then when you actually go into the upper ones, then you can kind of open it up into the filter, so that way it's going to sound like it's talking. But when you just play it at the low end like that, it makes it a lot more uninteresting, because it's taking up so much of the rest of the frequency spectrum, but it's not really adding movement to it. It's just going. So I would have it go like, and then like on those higher notes and stuff, like you can really open it up and make it actually sound like it's articulating vowels, if that makes sense. Yeah, and then like open that shit up whenever it plays those cool like higher notes and stuff. That's actually perfect, because that's what I originally did, but it changed due to my pressure from my little brother. You better tell your little brother, he don't know what the fuck. No, I'm just kidding. It's a suggestion. You know, like, you can do whatever you want. And if that fits better for you, like if you want to take this into a more melodic approach, then I would say elaborate on the melodic side of things. So if you are going to have the dun, 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 then add a lead to it, right? And pull back the bass. Like, maybe you have this being really open and stuff, and then once you get to this part right here, pull the bass back with a low pass filter, and then add some other melodic content to it. And that will make it more harmonic and melodic in that way. But the trade-off that you're going to find yourself in is, in order to make that work, most likely you're going to have to pull back on the bass, because you have to make space for the other instrumentation to play in. So your bass isn't going to be as prominent, right? Or I guess like what you can do as well is like add in like a pad in the background if you really don't want to change it. But I think like with the way that my imagination works, I think that doing one or the other would probably be what I would do personally. I always favor bass and drums over melodies. It's just the way that I work. So LOL, OTT. You guys and your dang old acronyms, man. I don't know what the yeah. So that's kind of what I would consider with that. Mix-wise, I do think that your bass has a little bit too much reverb in it. And the reason why I say that is because there's bleed from one bass note to the other, and that can easily muddy up a lot of your mix. And so what I would do is try to set it into a short, maybe give it some pre-delay and make it sound like it's in a smaller space. And then if you want to make it tail out, then you can automate a bigger size of a reverb, or you can even do like just a tiny bit of delay. And that can give you that space that you're looking for without it like being too prominent within the rest of your tune. And that could be useful to you, but if you're trying to make your bass fill out, then maybe you don't want to do that. So like the big thing is I do like the space, but I don't like the tails that I'm getting from the bass. And that's kind of like where I would try to, work on fixing that kind of stuff. So yeah, man, good tune though. I think that this definitely has a lot of potential. I think we all want to hear it when it's finished. Yes, okay, I need to hear that. I need to automate my reverb, absolutely. So what I do in my tunes is I leave everything dry, and then when I want to have a big fill or something, I send everything into a send track. I work in Bitwig. I don't know if you're in FL or Ableton or whatever, but you would send it to a bus reverb, and you would start your reverb on like 0%, and when you want to make it big, like let's just say like you've got, I have to like remake all of my fucking keyboard shit or whatever, but come on. So what you would do is you would send, you'd send everything here, and then what you would do is group this, and you'd keep the volume here, so that way even though these have 100% send, you keep the volume like this. It'll allow you a deeper end of control. But then when you want to do like a reverb fill or something, and you want things to blow up like really big for just a hot second, then you just go to, you go there, and then you blow it up like this, and then you turn it off. So it gets really wide for a second, but then when the turnaround comes off, it shuts itself back off. And everybody that's seen me produce, I do this on pretty much all my tunes, because I really like that aspect of like giving it some breath of like, something along that nature. So yeah. But yeah, that's what I would consider with that tune. But good stuff, man. I'm going to go ahead and move on now. All right. Yeah, we've got Mihu, Gasco, Losha, Oof, and Chase. Cheers, thanks. Yeah, good stuff, man. Thanks for submitting. Bruh, my Wi-Fi got bomba-clotted. I'm gonna go ahead and close the queue because I have to leave soon. man, this reminds me. This is
My
really
little
cool.
girl is always getting into something.
Shut up. This reminds me of that one tune. I know you're down. I don't know why. I don't know why. You guys know what I'm talking about? Down. I know you're down. I don't remember the name of what it's called, but yeah, favorite tune. Oh, is that okay? Yeah, maybe I really feel like that's what this tune kind of comes about. So I think that this tune doesn't really need a whole lot. I do think that this drags on just a little bit too long, so I would add in maybe some like percussion at certain places, and then maybe do like some. I have a new demo, but very crude to start it. Do you mind if you listen and give your opinion? I just shut the queue, but if you want to submit it in tune feedback, then the peers would be happy to take a look at it. But I did just shut the queue. I'm sorry. What was I talking about? Yeah. So just a little bit of like nuance and a little bit of elaboration can go a long way, because like I think that the groove is great. Just like the way that everything kind of moves together. I do think that you can use some clipping on your drums to help kind of bring this out and help bring the other levels up. But yeah, a little B drop or some moment of variation and stuff would be very helpful. And then like you have some really cool fills and stuff, but maybe just trying to bring out that a little bit more, right? You know, just kind of stopping everything in that sense and making that stuff a little bit bigger, so that way it hits a little bit harder, because it flows very well. But when I hear something like that, I would want it to be like so making those moments a little bit bigger, I think, would go a long way for your tune. How to do that? Clip your drums, bring up the RMS, and then when those sounds stand on their own, they're naturally going to be bigger because I can hear it. You don't have any other stuff that's going on in the background. So just by doing some overall mixing, I think that would take care of a lot of those problems. Or you can also add in a reverse sample and reverb and automate reverb, like I just showed. Who was I talking to? What was the last two? I already forgot. But whoever I was talking about, the last person that submitted of how to do like reverb fills, right? Boom, boom, boom. Gavin, right? I think so. Yeah, stuff like that I think would really make that tune bigger. But other than that, like I would just flesh out the arrangement. But this is really close to being. I don't think that you need to do much in order to finish this tune. I'm sorry I don't have more for it, but there wasn't really anything that I was like, no, that's not good, or this isn't good. It's okay. Thank you for helping remind me. But everything else to me sounds very enjoyable. Definitely reminds me of that I know you're down, whatever that tune is. Does anybody know the name of that tune? Can you help me out here? It's on my Spotify. I just don't remember what the name of that song is. Down, I know you're down. I don't know why. It wasn't on was it on the inspected list? Powered by, it wasn't on Powered by Inspected, was it? If I see the name, I would know. All caps, trauma. You know, we're all lost. Well, I need to go. Anyway, I really enjoyed the stream. Yeah, thank you. Sorry I didn't get to your tune. But no, this is it's the first Powered by Inspected. Powered by Inspected EP1. Missile, Heat. No, maybe it's Powered by Inspected 2. It's the one with Survive on it. Where is it? Yeah, Foreign Concept. Ask Yourself. Yeah, okay. That's the one. Thank you. But yeah, that really reminds me of this. But that's a compliment, because I think that this, I hope that you don't, like, I definitely don't feel like you're biting off of this tune. I definitely feel like, I definitely recognize the inspiration, but I think that you did something that sounds really good with it. So that's not a diss by any means. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on though. Cool tune, man. Really nice job. Very well done. Okay. Hey man, I just joined the server and I basically only make bass house, but decided to try out some drum and bass for the first time. Not really fully arranged and would still add some fills and things, but would be keen to hear your thoughts. Cool. Let's take a listen. Dude, why are you even asking me for advice? Bro, I'm in the house, bro. I'm kidding. It was a joke. Okay. Like love. Like love. Right. Sorry. Okay. We're doing D&B, not bass house. Yeah. So with this, I think that the big thing is like, how do I say this? I think that the sounds are there. Feedback needs finishing / release. Okay, I almost get the feeling that Greedo is going to disagree with a lot of what I say here because I'm going to say a lot of things. So the sounds are good, but the context of the sounds is what I think needs a lot of work, which is what you asked about, arrangement anyways, right? So the first thing that I would do is, like, the same way that you make bass house, it would be the same way that this stuff comes together. It's the exact same thing, just a faster tempo. Mixing different, okay, yeah, whatever. But within all of these kinds of sounds that you have, you still want to contextualize a rhythm within your bass and a kind of a theme, right? So within this, having some kind of melodic theme before you go into this kind of thing is going to actually set you up to kind of help drive this forward. But the big thing that I've noticed with this is that you have a lot of really long drawing notes that kind of have this long pitching, and that kind of takes away from the focus of the track. And I think that's why you feel like you're kind of like struggling with that. Yeah, more clear call and response in the basses would have been nicer. Exactly. And that's not to say that you can't have any of these like long pitch bends or whatever, but when you have a long pitch bend, a long pitch bend, a long pitch bend, a long pitch bend, it's really hard to pay attention to get this far into the tune, even though you repeated it twice. So like your call and response is longer and it's more abstract, but I still think that you can find some nuance in there of having a more consistent theme. So like maybe whenever this beat starts or whatever, yeah, I wouldn't even drop any of that stuff. I would just have the boom, na, 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 boom, kss, 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 boom, na, ba, ba, whoa, boom, 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 boom. Buffering? Oh shit. Yeah, it just refreshed. So sorry. Yeah, so like having that kind of thing of like, you know, shit like that. Fleshing out like a more clear call and response in that idea will kind of help you with that. I do think that that main melody that you have or whatever can work, but instead of giving us the drums and then going into the same drum beat, don't do that. Give us some kind of like epic cinematic thing of like, na, na, na. And then like another cool like bass fill or whatever, and then go into kind of silence. Right? So Thanks, Greedo. Yeah, like shit like that. And then that will kind of help you flesh in those other sounds that you have. So really, like, I think that, like, I would just study the arrangement of how that shit goes. And then once you kind of have a feel for that, then it's just about creating the vibe. The drums and the bass and stuff, like, they sound good quality. It's just contextualization. And so the best thing that I could advise you to do is to simplify. So simplify your thing. Don't have all these crazy, like, abstract fucking things or whatever. There's a time and place for it, but not when you first do your drop, because it makes you lose interest of your tune. Once you kind of establish a rhythm, then you can break the rhythm. That is like the golden rule of harmony. Sorry, not harmony. Just that's like the golden rule. It applies to martial arts. It applies to the element of surprise. It applies to, I guess, music. It applies to the way that our brains work. You have to establish a rhythm first, and once you do that, and the better that you get at that, the more that you can start to break it. And once you get that, you're golden. You're golden. Or you could just be like me and go into fucking complete abstractness and then hope that people catch it and make like idea music or whatever, and then just like totally go against everything that I just said. But it depends on what you want to do. For this particular thing, establish a rhythm, then break it. I feel like these tips are even golden for my house music. Do you usually arrange intros, breakdowns first then? Nope. I always start with the main idea. And I just break it. I usually don't, like, I have a lot of inclination towards harmony, but I don't include a lot of melodic things within my music. I usually do some kind of soundscape. You're welcome. I usually do some kind of soundscape within my music. And then I just go into and then like some kind of break, and I just try to fucking break the tune as much as possible. That's really what I have the most. That's what I have the most fun doing. I mean, the source of nightmares. Merry Christmas, guys. I'm heading off now. Thanks for the stream. Wait. What about the giveaway? Don't you want to be entered for the giveaway? It's fine. I'll reach out to you. You entered, so if you can't stick around for that. Ooh. Yeah, long story short, though. Try to pick out the rhythm of this. Yeah. Boom, boom, the pop. Boom, the pop, boom, boom, pop. Boom, 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 the pop. Boom, the pop, the pop, pop. Boom, 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 the pop. And then everything else in between is just whatever. But it sets up that expectation. So I had to stick around for this. Yeah, so that's kind of like how I try to introduce rhythm and then breaking within my music. And then whenever this turnaround came about, instead of it going back into boom, 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 the pop, it went boom, the pop, boom, pop, boom, boom, pop, boom, boom, the pop, boom, pop, boom, boom, pop, boom. So that's kind of like how I try to implement that kind of stuff within my music. Not that it's the best, but if you just as a means of being relative, right? So like even if you don't like any of the music that I make or whatever, that alludes to what I'm talking about in context. I have a question about doing stuff like current value. How can you make something hyper repetitive but still stay interesting? You got to make it fucking catchy. You have to make it catchy, and you still have a lot of ideas, or like you still implement new ideas, but they're so subtle in between. Cheers, everyone. Okay, Gasco, thanks for sticking around. If you make the giveaway, I will PM you. Or, yeah, I'll PM you because you're in the Discord. You're logged into the Discord now. Wow, that was evil as fuck. Losha is next. And then we have Chase. And then we're going to do our giveaway. And then I got to bounce to my grandma's. Nice. Kind of wish I sent a different track, but I'll save it for next feedback stream. It's okay. We'll get it on Thursday. Sorry, Losh. How am I not following you? since you guys are in the Discord, if you make it, I'll PM you. I do the same thing. That's exactly why I make lo-fi. Yeah, that was super nice, man. Okay, so mix-wise, I think that your chords are competing with your higher bass parts, your higher bass melody. And then I think that your snare is just a little bit too sharp. But the only thing that I think that you would need to change, other than like, you know, improving the mix a bit, is once you get to this part right here, like, and this is something that I fucking always do, and maybe you shouldn't be like me or you don't want to do that, is just add in like a low pass filter and add in your shaker right there. So where it's just like boom, 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 because that will give a little bit of groove and emphasis and like some opening up for the bass right there. But yeah, just right there, just add a low pass filter and then slowly start to bring it back up to this part right here. And then that will add a little bit of motion to that. And then you just continue with the rest of the tune. You can like maybe, I don't know if the chord is attached to the sample or attached to the vocal or not, but maybe kind of like giving us that a little bit less frequent would be a little bit nicer. Right? Or maybe if you can like take that vocal and then like pitch it down and give it to us like in a little bit different way. So you've got 3, 4, 5, 6, something different, or something like that, right? Just a little bit of variation on that. And I think that once you kind of have just like those small increments, Aaron was talking about how to like keep these ideas fresh, like current value, right? And this is a great example of that. You know, we've got 2 minutes of a really catchy tune, and just these small subtle changes can really make this like feel like flesh out. So I like the ghost snare better than the main snare. Yeah, take the chord, it in and out. It would make it more impactful. Yeah. Snare is indeed a little bit sharp. Great kick, 808 bass mate, and amazing ghost snare. I like the ghost snare better than the main snare. But yeah, I mean, other than that, like this is a bop for sure. Strong bop with this one. Okay, and like if you want, like some things that you can do right here too is because you have like cool like tape stop stuff, is whenever you do that scratching, scratch the whole thing or take off the drums and like take off all the other elements except for that part right there on the vocal. And the reason why is because if you do that, it's going to actually sound like it's the entire vinyl that's spinning or like, you know, recreating that. Because if you just do it on the vocals, then you kind of lose that moment. Like it's still cool, but it's not as cool as I think it could be. And that's why I would do the whole thing. And like an easy way to do that, honestly, is to just put a delay on your entire track, set it to repitch mode, and then just automate it right there, and then turn it off on the turnaround. Or sorry, turn it off on the downbeat. And then you've got yourself an easy pitch bend or like an easy like scratch thingamajig. Yeah. 100% feedback, or sorry, 100% mix. And then you just automate the time in seconds mode or milliseconds mode and set them to link together. I'm guessing you're in Ableton because of the picture, so you just do it in that way, and then you've got yourself kind of like a pseudo tape stop thing. Or you can get isotope vinyl and do a tape stop like that, or if you have kilohearts, then you can just apply a tape stop in general. A lot of different ways to achieve the same thing, but if you're like doing it on a budget, just use a delay. Fuck, if you're really on a budget, then just take everything and automate the pitch of all of those, or print out the master. Fuck, there's so many ways to do this. Or just print out the master, set it into texture or into Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Just print out the master and then pull that up, turn off all the other stuff that would be in that time. So like right here, you just pull that up and then you just automate the pitch of that. And then maybe you do like some slight filter movement and then you kind of just continue as you go. So there's a lot of fucking ways to achieve that, but that's what I would recommend if you want to make that part bigger. The ghost in the snare is the main snare with the highs cut out. Sounds good. Sounds good. But that's what I have, Loesch. That was a great tune. This is really sick. All right. Chase, last but not least. Not sure why every time I try to upload the SoundCloud, it changes a bit. The bass sounds so much more dull than the mix doesn't cut through. Right. I remember we read this and there's an issue with that. Okay. Well, I won't judge you on the mix. Well, I don't judge anyway, but I won't say much about the mix in that way. I'm more curious to see like the idea of this. Don't go too hard on me. Unmixed. Just an idea. I thought it was pretty cool. All right, so this is going to be
Pepsi. Then you're gonna like Pepsi Zero.
This is going to be like one of okay. So for anybody listening, this is going to be one of the most important pieces of advice that I give to anybody. When you're doing these cuts, stop the drums and cut all of the other elements to make it match your rhythm. Because right now you've got this ride that's going on in the back, the kss, 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 kss. But if you want this to be more impactful and you want it to be like bwomp, 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 you have to stop, you have to break everything in order to make it like have that kind of vibe, right? Because if you have something that's kind of playing along in that way of just kind of doing this, it smooths everything out. And that can be useful in certain situations, but in this case, you're trying to develop this push and pull with the drums. At least that's what I would be trying to do with this. So I would want everything to be like that's just the way that I think of music, or how I think about like making music and shit. But yeah, you got to cut out that. And then once you get to the second part or the B section, then you can kind of let everything play out together because we've already got, you know what I mean? We've already got this. And so the expectation kind of closes up. But I'm telling you, man, if you just do that, this would make the tune sound so much more interesting. Now, what that will do is it will create spaces within your tune, right? And so what you can do is you can fill those up with fill sounds. So like reverse snares or, other moments or other pieces of sound that will complement the overall story that you've created, right? So like somebody mentioned doom. So like what if you'd go like bum 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 da bum bum scream bum bum da bum da bum bum da boom bum da bum bum. I don't know, it was like a gun loading, like a shotgun or something, right? But it would fit within that context of doom. And that's why like storytelling is so freaking important, because it always helps me, not always, but it usually helps me figure out like what kind of sounds to choose, like how to choose sounds. That's a really good topic idea. I just don't know how I would contextualize that in a tangible means. But when you do start thinking about things in a story way, like that can help you choose sounds and choose like these fill things to kind of help flesh out the rest of your track, right? So, and I think that the story approach will kind of help because it will make you become more lenient on like, oh, I don't have to have like that specific bass. It's just, that's the kind of vibe or whatever. That's the kind of thing or the kind of placement that I'm going for in that way. Yeah, like all those things, like this is such a cool moment right here, but you have the ride that's playing in the background and it totally takes away from that moment of it like slowing down. And yeah, I really think that if you just get more intricate with that kind of editing, which isn't a really big thing to do, I would honestly suggest like that's one of the best places that you can practice right now for your call and response. The other thing that I would suggest as well is is the reverb thing that I was talking about. Did I already quit? I did. But sending everything to a reverb channel and then using that as a fill to kind of go. I do it in all my fucking tracks. I do it in every track that I make now. Do I have? Sorry, I'm thinking. Well, it's not that it's repetitive. I don't think that's the case. I think it's more so of it takes away from the push and it takes away from the call and response. It takes away from the impact of the call and response that you have, because I think that your choice of that was actually really strong. But the fact that it's smoothed over like that takes away from like the drama from that. So I think that I have a tune. Yeah, I do. Okay. So listen to some of the reverb fills that I have on this. Listen to the reverb swells. Yeah, so if you're trying to learn those kinds of transitions, then go watch this video. Oh, shit. Sorry, let me think. What is it? It's Bitwig tutorials, I think. So go to playlists, and the DAW won't really matter. But come down here, go to Bitwig tutorials, and then go to, it's going to be somewhere down here. It should be how to WOG, I think. Really? Is that not here? Abstract, how to make evolving powering up transitions. That's a longer transition. This one, how to make IDM with advanced audio editing, is one good one. How to WOG. This one, how to WOG in Bitwig. So this one will teach you how to do all that kind of stuff. I kind of learned the automated reverb thing from watching Eliminate stuff. Well, yeah, I'm not the only person to do it. But the way that I do it is like, or the way that I explain it is through the way that I do it personally, you know. But yeah, the IDM production thing, because like it still applies to halftime or it's a bass house or to whatever thing. It's just understanding like you have a moment in time and then what you do with that time to create those transitions and stuff. But that would be probably the best way that I could explain something like that. Where did I lose that? Shit, sorry. Yeah, did I have anything else about this though? Yeah, and so like with this stuff, you know, like try to make your bass hits kind of play along your drums. So you hear how they're like kind of like just kind of playing completely independent of each other. It should be like you use it more as a suck from what yeah, actually that's definitely what I do. I vacuum a lot of my transitions, I think would be a great way to pull it or to put it. To suck you never mind. Yeah, so like whenever you do like these kinds of things, whenever you're arranging something like that, having a bass on the downbeat or having something on the downbeat, if it's not going to be a bass, can be really helpful in building this in a stronger way. Yeah, I do think that the sounds are cool though. They're just kind of like not, they need to have more intention on where they're placed, if that makes sense. But yeah, other than that, I think that's the big thing that I would work on, is just like how to write bass lines, you know, and what to do with it. And I think that's like the biggest thing that people struggle with. It's probably the single biggest thing that I struggled with making heavy electronic music, is how do I make a fucking bass line? And the more that you start to treat your instruments like it's a bass, you know, of dum 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 dum, or the more that you think about hitting a bass in rhythm, I think that's the key, is rhythmizing your bass. And the more that you think about more as rhythm and less about character and less about like focus on sound design, then you'll start to see that you can contextualize a lot of the basses that you make, even if it's not like, you know, even if it's not as neuro or whatever as people want it to be. So yeah, I think that was a good note to end on. But yeah, man, thank you guys all for submitting. It is time for the somebody? Anybody? Buckshot. Speak. It's time for the speak. Buckshot. Speak. Sit. Speak. Buckshot. Yes. No. Sit, boy. Speak. Good boy. It's time for the giveaway. All right. What happened? Oh, okay. Good job, buddy. You want to say hi to chat? Yeah. Okay, come on. Hello. You give kisses? Come on. Kisses. Oh, thank you. Why do you go for the mouth? That's so gross. Okay. I know. I'm saying hi to you guys too. Hello. All right. Okay, so let's go to a website where we will enter a raffle. Raffle maker. Is this what I want to do? Huh, okay. Let me pull this up so I can do some data entry shit. All right, we've got... Who I'll enter today? Let me see. I don't have chat pulled up, so give me a hot second. So we've got Lex. We've got Circuit. We have Eden. We have Now. We have Twat. Lol. We have Elias. We have Bag Ops. Wait, what happened? Bag Ops. We've got Young. We've got Roll. We have Zas. We have Me Who. We have Gasco, even though I know he left. We've got Losha. Bad Lucks didn't submit. Why no submission, Bad Lucks? Why you no submit? And then we have Chase. Cool. I'm going to close this now. Is that everybody? I think it's everyone. Did I miss anybody? Just want to make sure that nobody feels left out. Okay. Yeah, that's everybody. We had some... Dude, guys, we had some great submissions today. This was really fun. Okay. We're going to remove the name from the list after the draw. And filter duplicate names. We shouldn't have any duplicates here. Okay. Okay, so here's how this goes. Let me pull up another thing. Any paid pack, if you are a winner, I will send to you. It's going to have to be later because I don't have the time to send it to you right now. But for anybody that submitted, Abjuration, Ascension, Aberrance, Ether, Ash, Arbitration, Azoth, yeah, any between those packs. So I will send you all whichever one that you want, okay? Because it's the holidays and I wanted to do a giveaway. So yeah. Where did that go? All right, drum roll, please. Wait, hold on. We got to do this right. Behold the first winner of today's stream. How do I pick a winner? It didn't. How do you go? What we recommend? No. Enter the names. You can also upload. MSpy cell phone tracker is the What the fuck? Oh, here we go. Start. I think. What is with this fucking layout? All right. One more time, please. Our first winner is Twat. Congrats, Twat. You have named or you have earned yourself a free download off my website. Congrats. Twat, are you here? Actually, I'll just tag him. Yay! All right, let's pick another name. Ready? I'm so bad. I need like a soundboard on this. I'm sorry I don't have one. Zaps! Zaps? That's supposed to be Zas. Zas, you have won the second raffle name. Who was Zas again? Was that Gavin? Wait, no, you're here. Okay. Yay! Okay, one more winner. Ready? For the big one. Back Ops! Congratulations! You, sir, have won yourself a pack from my store. Congrats. Congrats. Yeah. At Bag Ops. You are our final winner. Send me a DM. And I'll send it to you. Sweet. All right. We did our giveaway. We still have one big giveaway that we are doing. This is our 10K giveaway. Yay. Fuck. Happy holidays, guys. It's not much, and I wish that I could be giving away tens and tens of thousands of dollars. But it is a small something that I can do to give back to the community, and I hope that you all know how much I appreciate having this whole thing, because it's super fun. And the growth has been really amazing, and I've met some amazing musicians and learned a whole lot and just like met some great people. So thank you. I really appreciate it. Tomorrow is the last day to submit for our Discord community pack. So I know, just a bunch of free shit, right? Free everything. Our Discord sample pack collective, this is year 2 of us doing this. I have some rules and stuff, but what you do if you want to submit is you just upload some stuff, you DM me, and I'm going to check through and make sure that I have everyone's stuff together. As I said before in the announcements, I'm going to have to upload some older stuff, unfortunately, because I made a crap ton of samples and stuff, and then I had to wipe my hard drive without backing it up. So I'm sorry. I had no choice. It is what it is, but I've got plenty of patches to upload and stuff. However, with all that being said, it's just going to be a bunch of free stuff for the holidays to celebrate our Discord. I mean, how big is our Discord now? It's huge. It's huge now. And which is, dude, that's so cool. I think last year we had, or at the beginning of last year, we had like, maybe like 200-300 people, and now we've hit over 1K. Like that's cool, man. And like everybody here is just super awesome. So thank you guys. Thank you for helping me build the community. I definitely want to make sure that you all know that you matter. I definitely want to make sure that the support is reciprocated. And I hope that the people that submitted and email me a pack or like tell me what pack they want or whatever, I hope that you guys end up loving it. So yeah, thank you guys. Happy holidays. Merry mother flipping Christmas. You guys are all amazing. I had some great submissions today, so thank you all for that. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna leave the feedback stream up for like a week, okay? And then I'll take it down. So don't release your tune within the week. Everybody that submitted, do not release your tune within the next few days. And then that way you guys will have time to check your feedback. That way you can have time to check on all the stuff or whatever. And there's all that. If you don't celebrate Christmas, happy holidays, happy New Year. I'll probably be streaming Saturday, probably not tomorrow. But yeah, much love, everybody. Thank you all so much. I will see you all very soon. Hearts. Good night, everybody. Be safe. I must go. I should have left 20 minutes ago. Yikes. Bye, everybody. I'll see